Hey everyone, look at me here. I'm in a winter wonderland and I'm going to place down a ticket processor. Look, it works. Ticket processor, ticket machine, a clock, a ticket barrier, redstone sensor, a railway sign, which doesn't work, and station name, which doesn't show anything on here. Let me get some emeralds. My balance is 0 right now. I can add 224 for 16 emeralds. There we go. This video is slightly different because today I'm going to walk you through my coding. This is my first time doing this kind of video, so if you have any comments, please leave them down in the description. I have been working really hard for the next 4.0 update, and I thought it would be cool to show you a little bit of the behind the scenes on what I'm working on so you can get excited about it, and so I can also leak some of the new features to you as well. So I know these blocks aren't like new things, they aren't revolutionary, they're already in the old version of the game. But to get it into here, notice that I'm running 1.20 right here. It's already very exciting for me, and I have a lot of code changes in the backend that will make it easier for me to update in the future. A lot of those are like technical details, but today hopefully I can show you a little bit of what you can see as well, like visible changes that you can be excited about. As you can already tell, a lot of things are kind of broken. Like the sign didn't work. The dashboard doesn't show the map yet, although the coordinates show when I move my mouse. The option screen, look at the sliders. It looks kind of funny. And what else? I can kind of add a station, but doesn't update here. I put a breakpoint right here. That's why the code just stopped. So let me walk you through. Oh, the station did appear up here. Okay, so before I continue, let me walk you through what I've done so far and what new features you can see. So I'm gonna close out of Minecraft first. It takes a while to save, I guess. And I'm actually running it through IntelliJ here. IntelliJ is where I write my code. It's called an IDE, Integrated Development Environment. And you can run Minecraft inside here as well. So this is my project for the Minecraft Transit Railway itself, the mod itself. And I'm gonna jump over here to this other project called Transport Simulation Core. This is where all the train stuff is being moved to. All the stations, sidings, depots, platforms and stuff. All the simulation in the background is all moved to a separate project. I made some schema files. These are the JSON files that define what each object looks like. For example, a station contains, now I'm adding in 3 zones instead of just 1 fare zone at each station. Because right now, since there's only 1 fare zone, if you set all your northern stations to negative numbers and all your southern stations to positive numbers, if you go from east to west for a long distance, for example, you're still going to pay a low fare. So to solve that, I'm adding more fare zone fields so that a station can have, let's say, fare zone 1, 2, 3. And then you go to another station, which is fare zone 1, -4, 6, or something like that. And then fares can be calculated like that. Basically adding another dimension to it, 2 more dimensions to it. The exact math on how your fares will be calculated, I'll figure out later. But what I'm trying to say here is that each of these objects have different fields defined in the JSON. And then if I run this generate schema classes Gradle task, it generates all these classes for me. For example, a siding schema contains all the fields I've defined in the JSON, as well as generates the serialization so I don't forget to put a field here and it doesn't save properly when you exit the game. So let me run this real quick. This is the back-end simulation, and there are some cool things I want to show you as well. So I think I have a world already loaded up here, so I'm gonna run this main class, which will start my main server. It takes in some arguments because I want to make it as generic as possible. If you want to use it outside of Minecraft, you can too. Just you have to input the milliseconds per game day. For example, Minecraft, a game day is 20 minutes, so the millis per game day, you can input that accordingly. Starting game day percentage, if you first load in your world, you want it to be 7 AM, then you can specify that here. Root path is the folder location where your files are stored. Resources root is for the web server, I'll show you that later, as well as the web server port. And finally, defining your dimensions. For example, we have overworld, nether, and the end. I'll pass those in, and then the server will start. And the simulators is where everything is simulated, of course. And so for each one, we're gonna start a thread to tick them after a certain interval. This is just built-in Java stuff, so I'm not gonna go into too much details here. Let me see why this isn't starting. Okay, I think when I jumped to here, I realized that I didn't check for null after this. So
What's that mean?
other than checking that station is null, I also need to check if next platform was null also.
What does null mean?
So
What does null mean?
null just means there's nothing stored in next platform, so when I try to call area on it, it's gonna have this null pointer exception because this object has nothing stored in it in the first place. Up here I have these. So this file right here is stored in the vehicle itself. So for example, a train contains some extra data about what its next station is, next platform is, and I'm setting these fields right here. But if there's no next platform, instead of returning null, this get ID fields check if it's null and returns a 0 for the next platform ID if there's no next platform coming up. Whereas here, I forgot to check that. So I should probably do something like if vehicle platform root info next platform is null, just return null instead of checking for the area. And then here we can do if the station is not null, then do this stuff. So hopefully this will work now. We'll see. Alright, so you see the server starting. It first loaded some files, loaded some data for the overworld. I think the server started already. Let me try to open up the folder to see if I can see what is inside. So this is the root of the project. Okay, I found it. I think I just stored it in documents. So let's see. Stations. Yeah, I do have a bunch of stuff here. Okay, so first thing I want to show you is the updated system map. Alright, so this is gonna be built into the transportation simulation core, which means if you decide to use this library in a separate game, you still have access to this map, which is really cool. So as you can see, I have the Let's Play world loaded into here. And the map looks slightly different. For one, these interchanges look a little different. I try to copy the London Underground interchange station style with the hollow bars connecting it. There's also a setting to toggle this to narrow if you want the old style. I know that the Linden Underground map, these connections only occur in 45-degree increments, whereas this map right here is just a straight line connecting any two stations. So it's gonna look a little different. Maybe I'll change that in the future, I don't know. And the second thing is, we have 45-degree stations now. So if a station makes more sense to be shown at 45 degrees, then it will be done like that, which makes it a little cleaner to look at. So you don't have like zigzags, too many zigzags, when the station can be positioned diagonally in the first place. And next, we have the hollow rendering option. So if I want to render light rail in a hollow layer, then I can do that, or solid, or just hidden. So everything is hidden by default except for the train layer. Now I can make it show as hollow. Kinda looks like the national rail on the Linden Underground map, where it's not just a solid line. So high-speed rail would be quite appropriate to do that here. Also, the text won't show until you zoom in enough. This is for reducing some lag. And there's also the option to hide the station names altogether, just like before. There's also a grayscale feature. This is for if you're playing games at school and you don't want your teacher to see that you're not doing your work, you can make it grayscale so that it's less easier to spot. And there's dark mode as well. And if there are more dimensions, I think there will be a toggle here, but I forgot what I coded in. This is the system map update for now. You can't click on any of the stations yet. In the future, when you click on the station, you're gonna see the arrivals as well, just like the old map did. And then you'll be able to search. Right now this does nothing, but in the future you'll also be able to search for a station, zoom to it, and click on the line, things like that. I think these are the notable changes for this map. Let me try to show everything just to see how it performs. I used a new library for rendering the system map. So it's called 3.js, which is a really advanced JavaScript rendering library. I'm quite impressed with what it can do. So if you look at the examples, look at this complex 3D object, and it can render in like 60 FPS. Look at that. Wow. And then you've got animation, very complex 3D things. So I'm thinking of like a very far future thing that I can have like a 3D view of a station, because in the actual game, your stations are going to be laid out in 3 dimensions. Like you might have platforms stacked on top of each other. You might want to see trains coming through. So a 3D view in the browser would be amazing for the mod. Okay, so check out 3js.org if you're interested. Take a look at the capabilities of this library. It's really impressive. What is this? Wow. And there's also built-in mouse motion. I think you need a red and blue glasses to see this properly. Those old school 3D glasses. I'm sure this would be really cool. Okay, back to Minecraft. I'm getting distracted here. Okay, so other than the system map, there are other ways to check your train arrivals as well. Going back to the code, I have in the main, I have a web server that started, and I have some servlets here. So a servlet is something that accepts connections from the outside, like HTTP connections, It can be a GET request or a POST request. And these things handle the logic when you send something to it. So the main way this simulation backend is going to communicate with your games or your other front-end apps is through HTTP requests, because I don't know if you're going to write your stuff in Java. I'm saying like game developers, or if you write another game which interfaces with this library, you might not necessarily write your game in Java. So a simple way to communicate with this is using sockets and HTTP requests. So these servlets handle the HTTP requests, whereas we have a separate thing for sockets as well. So sockets is going to be used for dynamic updates. For example, as you move around in the world, the server needs to know, well, this simulation needs to know, and it'll constantly feed you updates through the sockets about when you're walking far enough, it's going to broadcast you different trains and stations that you're walking close to. Because you don't want the server to send you literally the list of all the stations in the world. That was one of the downsides of the old version of the mod, was that it sends you all the data in the world, so the client contains knowledge of all of them, and so it lags when you try to loop through them and see which one is next to you. But now, all that is done in the back end. So as you walk in the world, the stations that are really far away from you, you will have no knowledge of. As you walk closer to a station, the sockets will send you updates to tell you what stations are nearby. So that's what this web server does. And in particular, I want to show you this OBA servlet first. OBA stands for OneBusAway, which is a popular app developed by the University of Washington. People in Seattle use this a lot to check where their bus is. So I've created a little servlet here with some of the OneBusAway endpoints with the same JSON response, so that you can use the app to check where your trains are in the world. So I've only implemented a few of these. For example, agencies with coverage, arrivals and departures for stops, stops for location, trip details. Yeah, not too many for now, but hopefully in the future I can write the responses for the rest of these as well. So you notice that my app is still running, my simulation is still running, and I'm gonna jump over to my phone and show you what you can do with it. Alright, so I have my phone open right now. This is the OneBusAway app on Google Play. So I'm gonna open it up, and you can see that it supports many different regions such as Seattle. And if you click on one of the stops, you can see the buses that are coming with scheduled status and delay status, and you can click on it and show trip status, stuff like that. So to make it read from our world, we need to go to the menu right here, go to settings, and you see these are the regions it supports. So if you live in any of these places, you can use this app. But we're going to go to settings, we're going to change the region, which is in advanced, and we're going to change a different server. If we change the server, then we can read the data from another place. So one note for this is that you're gonna need to have SSH for this. So HTTP is not gonna work. You need HTTPS. Not SSH, I mean SSL. So instead of HTTP, you need HTTPS. So that's why I had to use my no IP domain for this one, because I needed to forward it to something with HTTPS. So you're gonna have to do some extra setup on your own unless I figure out how the code can work without that. So I mapped it to an endpoint called testing OBA. Oops. Like that. So that's my server. It maps to the same server that my computer is currently running it on. So there's no magic in that. It's just mapped to the Jonathan Ho no IP server. So when I go back, it's not going to read from Seattle anymore. So I have to go back to 00, which is where most of my stations are in the world. And unfortunately, you're not going to really get a map here because, of course, Minecraft worlds are going to be different from the map in real life. This app, of course, is based on Google Maps, but we don't have that with us right now in our Minecraft world. So let me see what stations we have. I clicked on Mayflower Station, and we can see a bunch of trains. Some of them are not on time. Some of them are early. Some of the statuses are still kind of finicky. And when the depot doesn't send out trains regularly, and they're running infinitely on a route, they might stay a certain minutes delayed or a certain minute early. So if I show trip status, we can see this is a custom train 1992 with display. So I think that's one of Navi's trains or something. I forgot. But yeah, you can see the whole line. I click on one of the other stations, it'll show these departures as well. I think I have a few bookmarked as well, my start stops. Let's see. Let's do this one. That's my 762 light rail. Looks like some of the trains haven't been coming out of the sidings. Don't know why. And we're using light rail phase 4 trains, that's correct. At Lei Moon Station, you see the trains are pretty frequent. Like 4 trains in a minute. Which is about right, I think. Oh, but these are a lot. I don't know. Some of this is still a little bit experimental. Let's look at the Grand Circular. That looks about right. We have about 3 trains per minute. And MLR Christmas, that's the train we've been using. So for the most part it works, and it also has the early and late display. And if a train hasn't left the station, for example, these ones, they're just going to show as scheduled because they didn't leave the siding yet. And this is a cable car route at Enchanted South Hill. So because the cable cars come every 8 seconds, on the app it just shows every 8 minutes. And it's always going to be now. So, oops. Let's go take a look at another random station and see if we have trains there. Yanjiang Mine Shaft. We have the Grand Circular right there. Oh, this is the prison line, right? This train is 2 minutes and 38 seconds late, and it's the custom C321M train. And AT Metro looks like they don't have any trains actually on the line. Oh, we have an on-time train here. Kowloon Tong. This train's on time. Acacia Boat. 16 seconds late actually. 3 seconds early now. Okay. So, this is another feature you can expect on the mod. Okay, I'm gonna get back to my computer and start playing with the 1.20 code. Alright, back at my computer. I'm gonna stop this right now. This can actually input commands as well, so I can type stop and it's gonna stop the server. Okay, and I'm gonna go back to the Minecraft Transit Railway project. I'm gonna run this so that I can continue working on the code. So while this is starting up, I have just imported the jar that was built from this other project. I just put it in a folder called libs, and it's gonna read from here. So in my build.gradle, I just read the file here. In the future, I might make this project build onto something like Jetpack, which is a place for you to directly get these built jars from. It's kind of like a Maven. I don't know how to explain it. It's just a place where you can publish your libraries directly from GitHub without hosting them yourself. Like my web server library, that's another library I wrote also. This one is hosted on Jetpack, whereas Transport Simulation Core, I just built it and dropped the jar in here for now. So I think when I publish the Minecraft mod, they're all going to be bundled in this Minecraft Transit Railway mod so that you don't have to download separate things to get it to work. So these are all my testing worlds. Right now I'm going to use the tests for the new version so that it doesn't break anything else yet. Don't know why it takes a while to load as well, but you can see the same loading text because this is running the library in the back as well. So we have loading files, data loading, and started with dimensions, overworld, nether, and the end. And when our world is running, we can go ahead and open the map as well. It works kind of the same way, except that I don't have any stations on here. For some reason, when I saved the stations last time, it didn't do anything. I don't know why. And our balance reset. Maybe because I didn't save. Well, I did save properly. Don't know why my balance didn't save either. Those are like things I have to look into again. Okay. So the first thing we might have to check is how come nothing shows up on the dashboard, like the rendering. So I'm gonna go into, I think this should be under screens. Screen, widget map. There's a lot of things that have been mapped from the library. Even like GUI rendering, all of that. So if you look at my imports, there's nothing that's imported from net.minecraft, which is a good thing because the point of that other library... Oh, I'm talking about the Minecraft mappings library, by the way. It's a separate project, a third project that I'm also maintaining, which creates mappings for different versions of Minecraft. So 1.16.5, 1.17.1, and so on. This library just makes it so that you can write a single set of code and it'll work for all different versions of Minecraft, for Fabric and Forge as well. So part of that effort is to migrate these existing Minecraft mappings and also to change up the rendering to be the same for all versions as well. Because rendering has changed a lot between 1.16.5 and 1.20, and so I might have broken something in here. The way I'm drawing my stuff in the world right now is by using this GUI drawing class, which is included in the Minecraft mappings library. So it's basically a holder for the vertex consumers, all this stuff. And we begin drawing rectangle. Do we have to call finish drawing rectangle? Yeah, we did. So there might be something in here that's not working. Maybe I put a breakpoint here. Yeah, it's hitting the breakpoint. Maybe I'm drawing in the wrong coordinates. Actually, let me take a look at graphics holder. My vertex consumer is null. Matrix is good. This is my GUI drawing. Draw context. Matrix vertex consumer. So when I draw the rectangle, the vertex consumer shouldn't be null. And the draw context shouldn't be null either. Okay, so the vertex consumer here is null. So maybe that's why it's not doing anything. Because the graphics holder vertex consumer is also null. Is that supposed to be the case? When I render, is my graphics... let me check the other library real quick. So we have our 1.20 mapping, GUI drawing. Oh no, graphics holder. This graphics holder is a big, like it's a class that holds all the variables that's needed for rendering. Includes vertex consumers, matrix stacks. So when you create an instance, because in 1.20, instead of passing the matrix stack directly, I think the game passes in this draw context thing. So that's all we have to work with. So we create our graphics holder with the draw context. Oh, here I pass in null. No wonder it's not working. Does draw context let you grab the vertex consumer? There is a method to do that. But that's just the immediate. If I do this right here, would that work? I don't know, let's try it. Let me take a look at 1.19, see what I've done here. So this one just directly sets, because when you render in 1.19, Minecraft directly gives you the matrix stack and the vertex consumer provider, whereas 1.20 it doesn't. So I'm gonna have to update it in Forge as well. Actually, since we're working on screens, let me see what Minecraft gives you when you're working with actually, this is a clickable widget extension. Clickable widget extension. When you call render, okay, Minecraft just gives you the draw context, of course. Just out of curiosity, I want to check what the draw context includes. So it does have a vertex consumer immediate in here. I think immediate, as far as I know, is only used for rendering text, but maybe it can also be used for rendering like shapes as well. I'm not sure, so that's why I'm trying this right now. So I'm gonna go to the 1.20 for Forge now, which is all the way at the bottom. Let me collapse this, don't need that. 1.20 Forge. It's kind of cool in IntelliJ, there's a plugin for Minecraft development. That's why this has a little Forge icon here. And up there, we have little fabric icons. Okay, anyway, back to here, graphics holder. I am trying to set the vertex consumer to what we can get in the draw context. So in this case, everything in Forge is named differently, or most things in Forge are named differently in Fabric. So that's why this mapping library exists. So I have a few methods to build, or I have a few run for configurations to build my code. I'm gonna do test and build right now. So I'm gonna make sure that all my methods are consistent across all versions of Minecraft. That's what this test is going to do. And it's going to build my files. So there's a lot of things that these run configurations do, and I'm not going to explain into detail right now, but if you take a look at the README for this project, it explains what the mappings do and how it's built and how the tests work. So how the classes are generated. So this project relies heavily on auto-generated classes as well as the build pipeline. So all these run configurations are encompassed in the build pipeline. And how they're built. Yeah, this is still a work in progress, but feel free to go and read the README. All of these projects I've been talking about are under my GitHub. You can go there, check it out, and maybe even contribute code for it if you want. So I'm gonna wait for this to build. This usually takes a while. I should probably close Minecraft so that it's not hogging up too much RAM and stuff. I'm gonna stop this process here and wait for it to build. Alright, so this has just built. Part of my build pipeline copies the files to this libs library over here. That's why you see that they're blue now, because they've been modified. And IntelliJ tracks that as changed files, so I can commit them later. So I'm going to start up my client again with these new libraries. Right now only the Fabric 1.21 is being used. That's because in my build.gradle I specified that right here. So if I change these numbers and change it to Forge even, then I can run this code in a different Minecraft version. The only thing I would have to change is stuff in this init folder. That's going to be different for each Minecraft version, because this uses Fabric code. But the rest of the code shouldn't use any Minecraft libraries. Alright, my game just started. I'm gonna see if stuff renders or if stuff crashes, which is pretty common. During this debugging process, stuff crashes a lot. I have to go back and fix stuff. Hopefully you can see why it takes so much effort and time just to get some basic features to work. Oh, what's going on now? Okay, so it's not being flipped around. Like the shipwreck is on southwest, which is right there. Just that. Even the background of this is rendered offset as well. But the mouse click position is correct. Like if I try to drag it here, nothing happens because this is part of the left side. But I also think that the clicking is handled by something else. Anyway, this is confusing. So when I draw a rectangle, that's the center point. Oh no, this is draw from world chords. Which... no, that didn't add. Okay. So let's go through this again. So this is where we get the color of each block. And let me go to the shipwreck just so it's easier to see. So if I'm at the shipwreck, am I being rendered at the right position? Yes, I am. Okay. And okay. Draw a rectangle from world chords. What is this increment? Just the scale, okay. The question is, why isn't this drawing where it needs to be? So when we draw the rectangle, x1, x2, get x2, 144. Oh, this isn't even used. This method isn't even used. And this doesn't have the get x. Let's try that. So there's this feature in IntelliJ when you build the project while it's debugging. It can hot reload the code for you. But sometimes it doesn't do that because if you change the structure of the class itself. But I'm just adding plus x2 plus y2, so hopefully that would work. Yep, okay, 174 class is reloaded. There we go, that's at the right spot now. Except that the centered dot is at the wrong spot still. Let's see, where am I rendering? Here, blue. Okay, get x, and then get y, get x, get y. Okay. Just want to check that my usages of these are pretty consistent. Okay, my draw text, zone number. Okay, we don't actually have any stations on here yet, so I can't really tell. Now I'm trying to reload it again. Uh-oh. Apparently, yeah, I changed this part inside the lambda. That's why it's considering it as a different, like, it changed the structure of the class because I edited what's inside the lambda in here. So I gotta restart the whole thing. The joys of modding. Okay, relaunch the game again. Let's go into the world and hopefully the dashboard renders. My computer is also running out of space because I've been recording. Alright, perfect. And zooming works as expected. Alright, cool, cool. I'm happy about this. Why is it so laggy? I don't know. Alright. What's this? What are these black blocks? Probably these guys right here. Okay, this stuff is still not rendering. Still a lot broken in here. If I add station, oh, okay. Dragging the station areas work. Oh, the text doesn't render properly, but it shows up here, and the color shows now. And we can zoom in, yep, like zoom into the station. Great. Alright, that is definitely progress. I still am pretty puzzled why the scoreboard didn't save. Maybe there's a save method to it. I'm pretty sure I'm doing it on server side though. Okay, let's add $10 for 1 emerald. So my balance is 10. Save and quit. And this should save the scores, yeah? Go into here. Okay, my balance is 10. That's so weird. Earlier it wasn't working. Let's do the scoreboard command. Oh, I know why. It's because every time we log in, the player is different. See, I'm this guy now. Hi, I'm player 351 right now. So the next time I launch my game in IntelliJ, I become a different player. This is just a random number. That's just how debugging works. Because these are technically offline accounts, they're not real Mojang accounts. So it randomizes your player number every time. Okay, so I fixed the dashboard rendering. I'm pretty happy about that. Of course, there's tons more things to fix, especially the data. The data is not sending properly. This packet data class is where we handle that. So when I send an update to the server, it comes through here and the data will be stored here. So if I put a breakpoint on the line here and I add a station, click done, you can see this JSON being sent to the backend. So it sent the station that I wanted to update. It created a random ID. That's the name of it. Color, position. I didn't draw a station area, so that's why it looks like that. And I have no other objects to update. Actually, this is the response back from the server. So the endpoint that I'm sending to the server is in this JSON object right here. Can I see that? Yeah, I can. So yeah, I just sent one station to update, and the data that comes back, it just repeats back to me what the station is, what the stuff that got updated was. And so that data is being broadcasted to everybody here. So Minecraft server, you're gonna iterate through each player and send the packet to client. And then when the client receives it, it updates your client data with the stations. So that's why I see that right here. But when we first join the world, that data is not getting broadcasted to everybody when they join. So I think here, I have an event for when player joins. Right now, it's only, well, right now when people first join, it's supposed to broadcast everything that's near them right now. I don't know if that's working. So, okay, I'm gonna put a breakpoint here. Okay, log out, and then I'm gonna log back into the world and see if this broadcasts to me my nearby stations. So the mechanism of this broadcasting is very different from what it was before. See, I'm like almost about to join the world, but not yet. So this is the JSON object that is coming back to me. Oh wait, no. This is what I'm sending to the server. Oh, did I not have something to listen to socket responses? Maybe that's why. So this is Minecraft broadcasting my position to the simulator. So we need a way to listen here. This is when the simulator sends stuff back to Minecraft. And I do want to see what that JSON looks like. So let me leave again. And when I join, the Minecraft sends a socket to the simulator, and the simulator sends a response back to me. But it's not doing that right now. See, on this update channel, nothing's happening. Yeah, I don't see anything in the errors that's related to that. So these are other random errors that have nothing to do with it. This error is what is the error that this station name is not rendering, but we can fix that another time. But once we join the world, we set up a listener on this update channel. When we listen to that, then we should see a JSON object that comes back. Wonder if we're getting an error on that. This update channel should be the correct name for it. We are sending... Yeah, we're sending... When we join the game, we send this update packet to the socket with our JSON. And the simulator is supposed to send us a response. Yep, nothing. I'm not getting a response. So I'm back to the simulation project. And socket. Where... Okay, yeah, my channel name is update. Where am I actually broadcasting back an update? Okay, this is the listener. When Minecraft sends a socket here, it's supposed to check the simulator and grab all the data. And then this is the send to client part. Okay, I think I want to put some print statements because we can't put breakpoints in here because this project is running with this library directly in it. So I want to print out the ID and the JSON object. This is received. Okay, and then when we send that response back, send to client is what? Do we set send to client? Okay. So here is when we send. Okay, I just put some print statements so it's easier to see what's going on. And I'm going to have to close this. Uh-oh. Must have accidentally put that in. Usually this project doesn't take half as long to build as the mappings because it doesn't have to dynamically generate files and run tests for like 10 different sub-projects. This project has 10 sub-projects or 20 sub-projects, because we have 10 for each Minecraft version and Fabric and Forge. And we also have a generator project, which is responsible for generating classes for the mapping project. So the setup is quite complicated. Okay, this is done building, so we can run this again. I just have the hope that all of this will be worth it at the end, because it will make the game run faster, and you can use the different new APIs to interface with the data and probably build some cool apps with it. As I showed you earlier, the OneBusAway app, that's not completely ideal because it doesn't show the map of the game, but if someone can write an app that shows like a square map integration with the arrival times as well, that'd be really cool. So I probably won't do that, but I'm looking at some of you developers out there. If you want to write an app for that, I know somebody's already written a phone app for this mod, which is really cool. But when the new API comes out, there will be even more things to work with. Why is this taking forever to build? Alright, just launched the game again. And we'll see if the packets send properly. I won't full screen this probably. There's nothing that indicates stuff has been sent. And I see nothing in the dashboard either. That's so weird. It's like it didn't listen, it didn't get anything at all in the socket. Server started, join the game. Maybe I'll also put... What if the WebSocket is starting after I've tried to send the packet? Okay, added an extra piece of text there. Let me leave the game. Alright, updated. So if I'm joining the game before the socket even started, that's going to be a problem. Okay, so socket started here, and then sending player update from Minecraft. Why isn't it doing anything? Am I using the wrong logging? That's why? What if I tried doing this? Main.logger rather than system print line. Sometimes that will affect things. Okay, let me try doing that. So I'm gonna use main.logger rather than system out. Web server, socket listener, channel. Yeah, that should be correct. Okay. Now it's time to wait for the game to launch again. All right. Here we go again. I'm gonna check the logs, check the console pretty carefully. Loading, data loading complete. Sending player update, and we are not receiving anything. All right. So what's the reason for that? Are we sending it incorrectly? Is anything getting sent? That's a good question. I should have checked that before as well. So I'm going to try to rejoin and see if at least this breakpoint gets hit. Okay, it does. So what does my JSON object looks like? I feel like I put a breakpoint here earlier actually, so I know that it worked. So my update radius 64, I think that's just a hard-coded value for now. And then my clients that need to be updated is here with my position. Dimension is 0, which is the overworld. Yeah. So I did send that packet. Socket IO server started at port 8888. So my socket was initialized with this. URI and options. Anything else related to socket in here? Nope, just starting and stopping. Okay. Just wonder if I'm doing this correctly. We have the listener. I did have something to test this before. I'm not sure if I deleted it or not. Is it in my scratches? No, but I used to have an HTML file to test the sockets, but I think I got rid of that maybe. Well, don't know what to do. Let me investigate this a little more. I probably have to read up on the documentation again. Okay, so I have the documentation open right here. This is what I've done. HTTP localhost. This is for the client side. How the socket is created. HTTP localhost io.socket. Set force new false. Why did I do that? And in here, web server, socket listener. How did I create my socket? Did I have to set the port at all? Oh, yeah, here. Okay. Well, actually, this takes a string as well, so I wonder if URI create will change the way this looks. IntelliJ keeps telling me that I have to use better debugging. I think I'll fix that maybe later. Okay. So is it okay if I just have the :888 like that? Maybe I should set port like that. Will that work? What is set force new? I don't know. Okay. Force new. Reconnection logic. Default is false, so I don't even need to do this. Okay, I wonder if this will work now. Earlier I was using like URI create. As long as we have null checks on the sockets, that should be okay. Alright, back in the world again. Let me watch the console again. Starting, loading files, socket running, sending player update, and still no response, I think. Yep. That's weird. So this time I'm setting the port here. This should at least say received. And we did set the port. So confused. It's so hard to debug as well because stuff is not Like, you can't put breakpoints everywhere, especially in the libraries. I'm reading the documentation, and on the server side, wait. No, the server should work fine because I've tested that before. Okay, I just wrote a little HTML file in my scratches to test. Basically, I'm using this official Socket.io JavaScript library for the client, and on connect, I'm gonna print out, I guess, connected, and then I'm gonna emit to this update channel an empty JSON array, JSON object. So you see, if I test it here, let me open up, why is the, okay, here. This is the developer view, the console. When I refresh it, it says connected, and here, my Minecraft here, the simulation at the background, it says receive packet. So if I keep refreshing, keep sending stuff, it receives. So this is coming from the print we put here. Receive packet ID is 0 with the JSON object, which is blank. So it does work. So why is this one not working? Socket, emit, update, and our JSON object. Let me just try to put a breakpoint here again and see what the socket object looks like. So I've got the address and the port correct here. Okay, now the socket's closed, that's why it's saying that. But I did get the localhost 8888 correct. Right? Connected is false. That's weird. That's not correct. Port is 80. Let me try doing it just directly here. See what happens, like that. Yeah, there's something wrong with this socket. Socket emit on IO. What's this IO? Send? I don't think I should use send. I don't know. Let's try it again. Oh, and I do want to put the breakpoint back there. Wait, what happened? What happened? Socket IO. Okay, now the port is set correctly. Ready state is closed, connected is false. Do I need to call connect or something? Nothing got sent. Oh. Do I have to do this? Do I have to explicitly connect to it? Let me try that. If that's what it was, then, well, easy fix. Programming's like that sometimes. You do stuff, and you go in circles, and you just suddenly get it to work. Okay. Oh, see? There we go. Okay, now we have a serialization problem. But that worked. So what did we receive here? What did we receive? We probably don't have the data field, because this is the packet we're sending. So let me copy this out. I can't really read this. And I'm going to use this guy to format it nicely. And for each of the unique IDs, we are getting back a response. So here, I would probably want to check if JSON object has data, or not even that. If wait a minute. Yeah, if data object is not null. I would want to do that. Let me stop the client first. JSON object contains ASCII data Why is this formatted badly? What's going on? Why is this all messed up? Did I put an extra parentheses or something? Oh. What's going on? IntelliJ is just being weird. Has. Okay. Or maybe I can just directly do this. Doesn't matter. Basically, I wanted to get the data piece. If that data piece doesn't exist, get it by the UUID. And then finally we'll read it. Makes sense. Okay. Now I just have to make sure that I can create and well, not create and delete stuff. That's the next step. But to at least join the world and to see the data that's already in it. That's the goal. And hopefully to create a root as well. I know I have stuff created in here. I have to remember to delete these loggers in the future. And I think when I disconnect from the world, I should call socket disconnect. Is there an event for when I disconnect? Register server stopping, I guess. Okay, nothing. Alright, well, the packet is here. The packet did send back to us. And on the client side, maybe nothing happened. Now let's try that again. Let's try that again. Joining back into the world. And I should expect the code to break, the breakpoint to get hit right there. Why not? Come on. Why are we not receiving it? Socket on channel. Let me put a breakpoint there. Because it's not emitting to it. Well, I don't think this would listen to that. I'm just curious, can we do that? Does this work like Kafka? I don't know. Oh. Okay. It did receive it. Oh, it already grabbed it. JSON for each. And then we're gonna get the player. We did get the player. If it's not null, then we will send the packet JSON object. Yeah. There. Oh, this got hit too. And then the object oh, the data object is null. Okay, I think that should work now. Fingers crossed Yeah, because we already unpacked the JSON. Let's try that again. Okay. I don't think I can use this to intercept the socket. There we go, look! Oh, my stuff is here. That feels really good. That's good. Alright, can I resize this? And then I can walk through? No, I can't. Okay, that's fine. There's still a lot of code to fix before that will show up. And... alright. At least the data is showing up. Okay, let's try a few more things. Add a depot, add a route. Right now our route can't go anywhere. Oh, this is offset a little bit. You see that? Or it's just the background. Yeah, there's nothing to click because there are no platforms right now. So I don't think our online system map will show anything because we don't have any routes connecting stations. Alright, one more test. Just disconnect. Gotta make sure it saves properly. And then I'm gonna restart the game to see if stuff will load properly. I've been recording for like 2 hours, I think, but I don't know if you all like this kind of video. I'm excited to show you what's new. And so, to walk you along in the process of me coding as well. If you like this kind of video, make sure to like and subscribe. And as I have more and more features up, I'll make sure to update you all in these videos as well. So make sure to stay subscribed and to check for new videos every week. I'll try my best to update you and also post some other Let's Play content as well, so to switch it up a little bit. I've been working really hard on this update for the past few months, and I really appreciate all of my Patreon supporters, which I have put on the screen earlier. Alright, our route didn't persist for some reason. Maybe routes are not sent through here. That's weird. Alright, I will have to go check that. But for the stations and depots, those stayed. And so I'm happy about that. Okay. I'm happy with the progress. We fixed the dashboard, fixed the data loading, took a look at some new features, such as the OneBusAway app and the online system app. Alright, I'm happy for progress for today. So thank you everyone for watching. I will make sure to update you, make sure to stay subscribed and like this video, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.